At its core, the Deadpool franchise has always been in on the joke that Deadpool was a castaway Marvel character. From the early days of Ryan Reynolds self-funding the movie, to breaking the fourth wall to make jokes about movie studio budgets and production company ownership, the series has always made light of which superheroes exist in which universe and which storylines are canon to the comic book world. And the latest installment, Deadpool and Wolverine, is like one gigantic celebration of all the cast-off superheroes who never got their moment in the sun during this last 20 years of the Marvel Revolution. It's a highly self-aware, very funny, tongue-in-cheek blockbuster that is chock full of multiverse cameos, and here are the best ones. Chris Evans is the first big cameo in the movie, so everyone's obviously thinking Captain America. However, he's reprising his role as Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. Deadpool thinks he's finally about to get his big Marvel moment with Avengers Assemble, and instead Chris Evans drops a flame on and takes off into the sky, which was perfect misdirection, perfectly executed, because all of these guys are cast off into the void, just like 20th Century Fox took the Fantastic Four and cast them aside. Now, Chris Evans is only in the movie for a brief amount of time. He's fighting in this Mad Max-esque desert that serves as a 20th Century Fox graveyard. You see a bunch of wreckage and ships and all these Easter eggs from all of the old Fox comic book movies. And then eventually he gets his neck broken, his back broken, he gets his skin ripped off his body where he leaves him in a pile of bones, and then the post-credit scene, he's talking about how Cassandra Nova can lick his cinnamon ring while the Juggernaut juggles his balls. Just a fantastic cameo from Cap. Next up, we got Jennifer Garner reprising her role as Elektra. This happens as Deadpool is basically assembling his bootleg Avengers using superheroes from the island of misfit toys. She comes on screen, and it got a pretty good pop in the theater with the audience I was with. Now, she was in the Daredevil movie in 2003, then she got her own spin-off in 2005. Elektra totally bombed. Totally stunk up the box office. Critics hated it. An ex-boyfriend of Jennifer Garner's actually claims that Jennifer Garner herself knew that movie was trash and that the only reason she did it was because she was contractually obligated to do so. But I don't know if it's so many years have passed or everyone's just drinking the nostalgia Kool-Aid, but it seems like fans were really excited to see Elektra again. In Deadpool and Wolverine, she drops the line, "Some of us didn't get to finish our story," which then sets up the funniest cameo of the entire movie, Channing Tatum as Gambit. In the early X-Men years, around 2009, Taylor Kitsch played Gambit, and nobody really liked him, which is almost unfathomable to me because the world is so consumed by superhero content now, and we had Tim Riggins as a member of the X-Men, and somehow it didn't work. But that led to Channing Tatum being considered for a spin-off Gambit film in 2014 that never materialized. So now Channing Tatum appears. He's got Gambit's headgear. He's got the patented deck of cards exploding. And this absolutely atrocious Cajun accent where he goes, "Well, you know now, some of us didn't even get to start our story." And continues to do the worst Creole accent you've ever heard. Channing Tatum is probably my favorite actor and maybe the only guy in Hollywood who could purposely do a terrible accent for like 20 or 30 minutes on screen and everybody loves it. Number 4, Henry Cavill as Wolverine, the Cavalrine. During Deadpool's search through the TVA timelines, he's running into James Bond Wolverine and Midget Wolverine and Western Wolverine, and then he comes across a perfect depiction of the old school spiky hair version. He's wearing a wife beater, he's smoking a fat cigar, only to reveal it's Henry Cavill, or as Deadpool calls him, Cavalrine. It's only like 5 seconds, but Henry Cavill kind of nails it as Logan. When he goes, "You were just leaving." Probably had Henry Cavill awake at night staring at the ceiling being like, I could have been Wolverine. And I didn't have to wear that stupid Superman costume. And I didn't have to deal with Zack Snyder. And I could have just been Wolverine and played this movie 20 times and made $1 billion. Now, after that, there's a ton of tiny cameos. You got Chris Hemsworth on a TV screen crying over the death of Deadpool. Rob McElhenney plays one of the TV guards. Blake Lively did the voice, and I believe it was the body of Lady Deadpool. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure that cowboy Deadpool is Matthew McConaughey's voice. So there's a whole bunch of them all sprinkled throughout, but hands down, without a doubt, number one with a bullet, the best cameo of Deadpool and Wolverine, Blade. When Wesley Snipes appeared on that screen, my audience popped for that appearance louder than any person, any scene, any death, any song, anything. His fight scenes were fucking badass, and in my opinion, delivered the line of the movie after Deadpool is complaining that there's been like 5 different Punishers. Wesley Snipes drops this.
There's only been one Blade. There's only ever gonna be one Blade.
Because before Iron Man launched the MCU into like the billion-dollar stratosphere, and before Disney got its hands on it and released like 5 different phases with 100,000 multiverse timelines, there was Blade, slicing his way through vampire raves while blood was pouring from the ceiling and sprinkler systems. He was armed with Whistler's weapons and those iconic shades. As long as Wesley Snipes is a tax-paying American on God's green earth, he has the green light to play Blade. And the day that he dies is the day that Blade should be retired from the big screen.